Hello and welcome to DV247, and we're going to be taking a look at the RC range of reverb processors from Native Instruments. Starting with the RC24, which is based on a lexicon 224. You have three algorithms. You have room, small hall and large hall. And we're just going to take a quick listen to what these are doing in the context of acoustic guitar tracks. So let me just put up the level of the guitar track here. And we're going to start it off with 100% wet, so you can actually hear the character of the reverb on its own. And it's kind of a darker sound, quite a thick, warm sound, because it's based on a 12-bit engine that was on the original reverb. So as you can hear, it sounds quite dark. So let's start off with the room reverb. You can hear that. So the decay is a bit quicker. Small hall gets bigger, and large hall even bigger than that. So you can actually hear the different characteristics that each individual algorithm brings to the sound. So if we just stop it there and put it into mix mode, and let's have a listen to it as you would in the context of mixing an actual instrument. So if we just... So with room, gives a lot of space around the instrument and separates it from the front of the speakers. And you can of course affect the decay times of the bass, mid and high, which is represented to you graphically in the spectral scope here. So if I add lots of mid, you can see this is now going over 2 seconds at about 800 Hertz, but you can actually change the crossover where if that happens as well. So if we go to small hall now, have a look at the options page, you can actually get the option to change the overall character of the reverb from bright to dark and add quantization noise, which may have been considered not so desirable, but it's a very faithful recreation of the original unit. So let's take a listen. So it brightens up the room a bit there. That's a very subtle effect, the quantization, but it's there nonetheless. Back to dark now, because I think I prefer that. Of course, what you can hear now is the modulation to add movement and kind of depth. So to highlight this effect, what we'll do is we'll actually add a lot of sustain to the reverb. As you can see now, the spectral is giving a lot of feedback. In fact, really far up here, and you'll see a lovely smooth tail now happen as I... If we add modulation to that, you can hear how complex the waveform gets. I'll just play that again because it's a... And you can hear how smooth the character of the reverb is. Wonderful for music and sound design. So that's a quick look at the RC24. The other reverb in the range is the RC48, which is designed to be a bit more naturally representative of an acoustic space, and you have two algorithms here, hall and random hall. Now the hall algorithm is quite a linear sounding reverb. The random hall adds modulation and aspects to and character to the algorithm which account for real life non-linearities in an acoustic space, such as amount of people in the hall and non-parallel surfaces and things like that. And these could be added in the random hall algorithm. In the options, you get these extra controls for spin, wander, and shelf, which this sort of changes the overall tonality of the reverb. You have wander, which is a kind of pitch modulation, and spin, which adds a bit of spin to the sound. So if we have a listen to it in 100% wet mode, add a bit of decay so you can actually hear the reverb. Adding shelf thickens the reverb out quite a lot. Add a lot of wander and spin, and you can hear the actual overall character of the reverb's changed. And again, we have a spectral feed out here. You can see what the reverb's doing, and you can scale the graph on both these reverbs to see how your decays are going. Along the bottom here you have the time in seconds, and you have frequency along the right hand side here. So let's listen to this again in the context of the actual track with the wet and dry mix here. So at the decay down to about a 2-second reverb. Brighten it up a bit. Bit of pre-delay. And you've got controls to damp the reverb. You can make it sound quite 80s and unrealistic, but obviously bringing the high cut down here, the dampening down here, makes it quite smooth all the way down to just the mid-range if that's what you want. So very nice natural acoustic sounding reverb. Both of these are now available as part of the Complete 9 Ultimate bundle, and for more information please visit our website dv247.com.